Yo, boxing aficionados. What's up? What's going on? Hey, yo, check this out. Let's get to that Top Rank card last Saturday night. It opens up with a young man named Rohan Polanco. Rohan Polanco has been of interest to myself and other Dominicans simply because he's Dominican. And we don't get enough Dominicans in boxing, right? I guess Dominicans, the more athletic ones, their sport of choice is baseball, as we all know. And it's a very lucrative sport. Some basketball. A lot of people don't know that Carl Anthony Towns is actually half Dominican, played for the Dominican team. And I guess, for the Olympic tryouts. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What we don't have is a lot of boxes. That's obvious. And of the boxes that we've had, a lot have left a lot to be desired. And so whenever you see a decent Dominican fighter, a lot of Dominicans like myself will pay attention. And Rohan Polanco is someone I pay attention to. I have to tell you, I'm impressed with the young man's power. Let's get to the crux of the matter. I'm impressed with the young man's power, his punch placement. I'm turned off by his attitude and his choice of fighting in the pseudo Philly shell. I don't think he executes it very well. I think that defensively he relies too much on athleticism and reflexes rather than technique. I'm not that impressed with his footwork. I'm curious to see what happens if he were to fight someone of a for example, a Jermaine Ortiz, someone who moves, someone who can move and box and has decent power. I believe that kind of fighter and is of age, is in his prime. I believe that kind of fighter would give Rohan Polanco fits. Would he beat them or not? I don't know. But that Philly shell that he does, that obviously very influenced by Mayweather, although he has a lot more power than Mayweather. But the way he throws out that that left, I believe is this, his left to the body. It comes out like Mayweather's body punches off the Philly shelf with the backhand. And he's definitely very Mayweather influenced with a lot more power, but he doesn't know how to execute it. In order for you to execute that style, you have to be in the environment that created that style. You have to be, in the right gym that teaches that style, in my opinion. You have to have come up with the right coach that really grew up in that style and knows it in and out, in order for you to execute it perfectly. I believe he's setting himself up for a lot of trouble. Having said that, he does have the kind of game-changing power that might get him out of that trouble. He experienced the trouble. He has the power to get himself out of it. I mean, it's really awesome power at 140. And again, he's very athletically gifted. His reflexes are pristine. He's very young. But his technique leaves a lot to be desired. And to that, quite frankly, you know what? I'm going to jump back to that because as I go up the card, I'm going to have to jump back to Rohan Polanco because he got a very, very gushing endorsement from the fat man, Dan Rayfield, at the expense of his criticizing another person who was on the card. That's why I'm going to have to come back to this. So it was very interesting how he put that together. So that's Rohan Polanco. Cash Flow Diaz. Cash Flow. I like the kid. I think he's got too much going on, personally. I think he's all over the place. I think he made a mistake by leaving Bomac and that camp. The best I'd ever seen of him was with Bomac and those cast of characters out in at the BNB boxing gym. Training. You see what they've done for the star of this fight, of this card, with Michael and Mayer, and they've done the same. They've gotten so many people better than they were under Kei Karoma and under certain other trainers. It was a mistake for Cash Flow Diaz to leave them. I think that he regressed from the last time I saw him. I believe he could be better. He's not turning over those punches. He's not getting the max power output that he could. He's got fast hands. He's got, again, great reflexes. Defensively adept. Although he gets into firefights because he's very ballsy. But I believe he's regressing. To have his corner now, his trainer or his whatever, his conditioning coach now be his girlfriend is a mistake. Cash Flow. You need a father figure in your life that'll set you straight and not let you make these kinds of mistakes. You don't want to mix apples and oranges. You don't. Your relationship's your relationship. Your boxing and your training should be something else. That's my opinion. I know Nonito Donaire has his manager, and I think he also trains him, and it's kind of worked out for them. So I guess there are those outliers that break that, go against, So, and I wish that it works out for Cash Flow, but he's definitely regressed from leaving Bomac. Moving on to Tiger Johnson. Tiger Johnson. It's a snooze fest. Tiger Johnson has made Timothy Bradley's double stamp rookies, whatever he's got going on over there with that thing. He made that list, and I've yet to be impressed. The most impressive thing about Tiger Johnson is how much he looks like Usher. I mean, that dude is a dead ringer for Usher. If Usher ever dies and they make a movie about his life, I suggest they cast Tiger Johnson to play Usher, because it's uncanny how much they look alike, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not impressed with Tiger Johnson. I think he definitely, I don't know what's going on. Something's missing. The power isn't all that wowing. He definitely doesn't have Elvis Rodriguez power, And yeah, it's a mistake. I don't see it. It could be better. Moving up the ladder, we get to Vito Mielnicki. Vito Mielnicki is an interesting guy. He looks like he punches hard. Vito Mielnicki there's room for improvement. I don't believe he's all that. He lost to the guy who gave Vito Milnicki his first loss was a guy. I forget the guy's name. I wish I would have thought about looking him up before I started this video, but that's neither here nor there. But Vito Milnicki's first loss came to a shared opponent with Xander Zayas, who was also on this card, and they're trying to build that fight up. It'd be an interesting New York fight. Xander being Puerto Rican, Milnicki being Italian. It could be West Side Story all over again. Jets against Sharks. When you're a Jet, it'll be good. It's a good backstory to something like. You can sell that. People will come out for that. Good fan bases for both. But Milnicki, the jury's still out. He does have power. Handsome kid. Gonna sell tickets, but again, he lost to the guy that gave Xander Zayas trouble. Xander Zayas got lambasted for going the distance with the guy and like winning 8 out of the 12 rounds or 7 out of 5 rounds or whatever it was. It was a clear win for Xander Zayas, but he got lambasted for not putting the guy away. Well, that same guy then beats Vito Milnicki because at that time PBC was shadowing Milnicki. Was shadowing Xander Zayas with Vito Milnicki. They would fight about the same time. They would talk about, So it's been going on, this whole rivalry, pseudo-rivalry, not rivalry, has been going on for a long time. They've been kind of like connected for a while. And Milnicki lost to that guy. They gave Milnicki the benefit of the doubt. Well, he's a tough guy. It's a good learning lesson. But Xander Zayas gets lambasted for going the distance and actually getting the win. I don't get it. That's, boxing scribes and these boxing pundits and some of these YouTubers are really, really interesting. The guys who did that was actually Ringside Reporter. Those guys, I remember when Xander Zayas went to this, was like, Xander Zayas, he's struggling. Milnicki goes and loses. Oh, it's understandable. It's a tough fighter. It's fucking ridiculous, man. The hypocrisy is off the charts. So that's Milnicki. Moving up, who else was on that card? I think we could get into I don't know if I should get, you know what? I'm gonna skip because Zayas was actually the co-main to the main event, the Mayer Ryan fight. So I should probably go to Shushu next. Let's do that. So I'll go to Shushu. Shushu Carrington against Segawa. Okay, so Shushu Carrington fought a guy who just beat a guy who's highly respected, man. What was his name? He almost beat what's my main man, Coño, Navarrete. He fought Navarrete. Navarrete moved up to 126. He fought that guy for the title. He was also fighting on Showtime. Oh, man, what the hell is his name? Hopefully it comes back to me. I don't know. It's old days. Se está poniendo viejo. Se está poniendo viejo. But, man, so the point is this. Segawa came off a big win off that guy who was an eliminator. Segawa won an eliminator, WBC eliminator, in line to fight the WBC champion. And he fought a very credible guy. I mean, like I said, I wish I get his name. He's also was a big deal when Top Rank signed him. But Sagawa beats this guy. Shushu Carrington. I knew it was going to be a tough fight because Sagawa is a southpaw that could be a mauler. He punches hard. He's one of those African dudes, man, that, they come forward and they throw punches, and they throw them hard. They throw lots of punches and stuff like that. He fights Shushu Carrington. Shushu Carrington is definitely a step-up fight, but nothing that he couldn't handle. The guy changes his plan, and he hit Shushu flush. And Shushu didn't like that punch. He could tell, like, oh, I can't just walk through this guy. But he also did not commit to just coming forward. Sagawa changed who he was in the fight against Shushu. He wasn't the all-in, come forward, throw caution to the rim, to the win fighter that he's shown himself to be against previous opponents. He fought Shushu with a little more guile, a little more discipline. He was careful about what Shushu had to offer, because Shushu's offense is crazy. He'll hit you with some shots, get you up right up out of there. So he fought a very careful fight, is what I'm saying. Shushu was not ready for that change of plan, that change of tactic that Sagawa displayed. And he adjusted. Yes, the fight could have gone either way. This is one of the few times that I will definitely say the fight could have gone either way, because that's a tired refrain that people use every time their fighter gets a bad decision, and and they want to make excuses. Oh, that fight could have gone either way. That fight could have gone either way. So I'm not one of these people, but in this case, it really could have gone either way. A draw would not have been out of the question. I didn't score the fight, but a draw wouldn't have been out of the question, just from, I could see how a judge could get to a draw in that fight. I could also see how a judge could have given it to Sagawa. But I could also see how a judge gave it to Shushu, because Shushu did have some really nice tactical moments in which he pushed the pace and had Sagawa in a bit of trouble, and Sagawa was backing up. And so, judges score that. And so, so Shushu gets a lesson in that. He's very classy at the end of the fight. I know that he was in the ring. The fight could have gone another way, but it would have been a very devastating loss for Shushu, because Shushu is one of these prospects, or one of these contenders now, that the world's his oyster. And I'm going to make a video solely on Shushu regarding why I say the world is oyster right now. Has the world in the palm of his hands if he does the right things and puts on the right performances and executes. It puts him in line for the WBC belt against the Mexican longtime flyweight WBC title holder, guy with a good name, Ray Vargas. Puts him in line against Ray Vargas. But if he would have gotten a draw there, or worse yet, a loss, even a draw would have taken them right out of the contention for everything that could follow up with him. The fights with Vargas, unifications against Nick Ball, eventually waiting for Angelo Leo, who's also part of the company. He could have 3 belts. and then wait for a new way to come up. Like really, his future is very, very bright. A draw would have derailed that whole plan. So he got very, very fortunate and very, very blessed. And I think he's very grateful that the judges saw the fight his way. Having said that, he did deserve it. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. Fat man Dan Rayfield. Dan Rayfield criticized Shushu. Oh, he's not ready for no title shots. Don't talk to me about no title shots for him. This and that and the other. He did that, like, they're hyping him up so much at Top Rank. Like he shitted all over Shushu. That's what Dan Rayfield did. But that man that he fought was a guy who I wish this video would be a whole lot better if I could get the kid's name out. He won a title eliminator.